Today's letter, Angela. Why am I out of balance? What can I do? Well, I think in life it's very important that you do maintain your balance, because if you don't, you could end up, making choices that are obviously not going to be best for you. I always tell people, before you make a decision, I think you should go from your head first, because your heart can follow. Sometimes your heart will get you in trouble. It'll tell you that you need to do this or this because it feels good right now. But in your head, you might think, I know better. The little voice in your head is trying to guide you in the right direction. And very often when you go from your head first, again, your heart does catch up. For example, your heart might say, oh, fall in love with this person. It's awesome. And you fall in love with that person, and your head told you it's got a bad history, you've heard bad things, this kind of deal already. You don't listen and you get in trouble, right? So anyway, try to make decisions by trying to go head first and let your heart follow. It really does. Sometimes you got to remember, it takes time to get balance. You also got to make sure that you have enough rest in your life. You need sleep, And if you do, by the way, find yourself, really attracted to somebody, if they're always looking at your body, they're probably not that into you as they should be. If they're always looking at your face, they may be. That's just a little thing I learned. But anyway, back to getting in balance. You want to make sure that you are healthy. Make your physical body as comfortable as you can, and try to talk to somebody. Talk to yourself if you need to. Sometimes you can do an exercise of imagining that you're going into a room where the image of a little child that is you, and you go and you talk to that child and you explain to that child all the things that you want to say, that you need to hear. Sounds crazy, but it's something that can work. Also, you want to make sure that you have that balance between work and play. You know what they say about all work and no play? It makes you dull. So you got to have that balance between that. You want to make sure that you put energy into friends, but if you're not getting back what you're putting out there, you need to step back and redirect your energy. If you make a decision, sometimes it takes a while for a decision to bear out. It's like a ship. You turn the wheel, and it may be a mile or two before you actually see how that ship has turned. So sometimes you can make a decision on having better balance and whatnot in your life, but it may take a little while before it turns and you can actually see the result of that decision that you made. So you make a decision and you give it time. And finally, I always like to say you do this head, heart, and gut check. Sometimes when you're making a decision, you got to step back, or you need to change direction, as I just talked about. You kind of step back and you do a head. Do I think it's good? Does it logically appeal? Does it feel right? Am I emotionally okay with things? And then my gut, that indescribable, from out of nowhere, not sure exactly where it comes from vibe. And if you got that lined up, then it's good. Now, some people like to balance their chakras and whatnot, and you can do some research yourself on that. It's openings in your body that some people feel they rotate and they lead inside you, and that they need to be balanced and cleansed. And you can do some research on chakras. Just Google it, see how that feels. But you can imagine that, when you're in that half awake, half asleep state that I've talked to you about before, that you can maybe imagine that they're all open and clear. Maybe imagine that, or ask your angel, which I think help us to do that, so that you can keep your chakras open. You got power in your imagination. It's a bridge, as I've told you before, from one reality to another. Anyway, that's probably too long of an answer, but that's the answer that I'm giving you today.